Hello and welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Geneva Subdivision. My name is Daryl Cruz, owner and builder of the layout. This is another operations video, episode 21. This is part 2 of a two-part series for train MNPPR. In part 1 we saw the train dropping off and picking up cars at the interchange track. And now part 2 is the MNPPR completing its run across the Geneva subdivision, heading from the interchange track through Wheaton, Elmhurst, and then into Proviso. As you notice, the first thing that the train did was turn stitch lights on. And then it's crossing over from track 2 to track 1 for two reasons. One, because it's a left-handed running railroad, and then also because there's another train, a crude oil tank car train, in track 2, waiting to pass westbound on the Geneva subdivision. In my time in Rochelle, saw this happen quite a bit, where you had a train pulling through the crossing, but holding just short of the road that crosses the right-of-way. Usually, it was waiting for a double stack to cross over from Global 3. This time, though, it's waiting for the manifest train, which has continued through Rochelle and now is heading across the Rock River. The bridge there is the Walthers Bridge, and the approach bridges are Atlas bridges. I have 3 of those Walthers double track bridges on the layout. That one was built as is. The other 2 were heavily modified across the Mississippi River. Alright, here we're heading into Wheaton. After putting roads in and doing some work on Rochelle by the interchange track, there's a lot of topography changes in that area that really make it look pretty realistic, which made me think I'm going to have to do something in Wheaton there, which is very flat. So I think I may use some foam. I've never used foam before, but I have to do something to get different levels of topography. Even though it's very flat in northern Illinois, you still have changes in elevation from here to there. Alright, we have a yellow signal going through the control point here. It's yellow because the next signal will be passing into Proviso. And those lights look all yellow, but actually 3 are red and the one is a flashing yellow, which means we have a train coming from the other direction. I think I need to figure out how to set the ISO setting on the camera so I don't have this fluctuation in exposure settings going from light to dark. Anyway, here in Elmhurst, we meet a westbound empty coal train. Part 2 will also include the BNSF switcher distributing the cars to industries in Rochelle. And this is the entry point into the Proviso yard. So it's going to cross over from track 1 into the Proviso lead track. And then it's going to go into arrival track 1. You see the throttle's been decreasing as we're slowing down. It's probably going about 10 to 15 scale miles per hour right now. Maybe a little fast for the yard. Alright, the lead unit is the scale trains, Tier 4, 5515 and 5714 are both Katos. Alright, this train is a little bit longer than the arrival track, so we'll go ahead and pull through the yard throat. Then it'll slowly come to a stop. All right. In the upcoming video, we'll be doing a Proviso yard switcher, so we'll see the uncoupling of a train in Proviso and sorting, or I should say classifying the cars into the different classification tracks. For right now though, we'll have the BNSF switcher distribute these cars to the two different industries. As you can see from the switch list here, cars need to be delivered to the Monte warehouse and to Heinz lumber. First thing we'll tackle is the Del Monte warehouse. Oop, we have to had the turnout set wrong here. As you can see, we have an auto rack pulling through. You can also notice that I have been doing some work on the roads. From the first part of this video, there was not any gravel shoulder. Then between shooting the first part of the video and now the second part of the video, I did install the gravel shoulder around the paved areas in Rochelle. Alright, the two cars that go to Del Monte are the rail box car there and then the Burlington Northern box cars. So the CNW box car and the flat car, they are headed to Heinz lumber. It's kind of, those two cars are on an incline, so it's kind of hard to keep them in place there. We'll see if we'll be able to clear. In addition to the shoulder, the gravel shoulder, also was able to stripe the roads. Did not stripe the road leading to the parking lot here, but the other roads are striped. I checked the satellite photos to see which roads were striped and which ones were not. All right. All right, those cars are all set in the Monte warehouse. And now we'll go ahead and do a run around. And we'll push the other two cars towards Heinz Lumber. You can kind of see what I was talking about, the topography. Northern Illinois is very flat, but you still have different elevations. So here you have the parking lot at one elevation, and then it kind of goes from the parking lot down towards the fascia. And then the interchange yard, and then you have the main line higher than the interchange yard. And then on the other side of the main line, you have the road, which again is lower in topography. And then, of course, that's the way things are in real life. You never have something be completely flat unless you have something like Global 3, where they got a bunch of bulldozers in there and they made the ground flat. So I think I need to do something in Wheaton so that's not so flat. All right, we have a double stack train coming through as we push the two cars towards Heinz Lumber. Not the best focus right here. My camera always, by default, oh, there, that's much better. It seems to default to focus on things close as opposed to far away. All right, if you notice, the BNSF switcher stopped right there so that the brakeman could get out and throw the turnout. Okay, so we're ready to roll. Now what I should do, I don't think I did this here, what I should do is when the train is through, I should stop again for the brakeman to throw the turnout back to the main line and then climb back aboard the train. Just depends on how evolved, or involved I should say, not evolved, how involved you want the operations to be. This time we're just going to assume the brakeman threw the switch and ran really fast to catch up to the train and jump aboard as it was moving. All right, Heinz lumber is on the other track, so we'll cross over here. Yeah, I definitely need to set the ISO manually, and I think I have it on auto. And so it's just changing back and forth. Alright, next video's not going to be doing that. Alright, so that gray building there is Heinz Lumber. I think we'll go ahead and push this back a little bit so that the green box car is lined up to the doors there of the Heinz Lumber building. And then we'll go ahead and uncouple. All right, and then we're done. Here's just a quick look of the striping that was done. I used some pinstriping from a company called Line O Tape, and it's just I just lay it out solid and then go through and measure with a ruler and cut it according to prototypical dimensions. That's First Street right there, and then this is Highway 38, which goes through town, and then that would be towards Franklin Grove. All right, but it's definitely come on. You can definitely see the topography too, which is pretty nice. So it's coming along. Still have signs to add, weathering, trees, but this scene is definitely coming out pretty good. Hey, get definitely a good look about the topography and how that really makes it look realistic. My next thing I'm going to do is the floor. I'm not going to be working on the layout, but the layout room. As you can see, I have the garage mats down in the aisleway, but if you notice, the floor itself is still the original concrete. I really need to paint that just to give it a little bit more finished look and keep down on the concrete dust, which isn't a real big problem. But next thing I'm going to do is pick up sections of the floor and paint the floor. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one coming up on Saturday morning. Take care.